After Donald Trump met with Vladimir Putin, Trump just leaked the unthinkable. And in today's video, we have to talk about some revelations here with what Dan Pena has to say about who created Bitcoin, and it's not who you think. Also, if we look at Putin's special envoy and what he's been sharing recently in regards to the QAnon movement, managing over $10 billion in a sovereign wealth fund. What does this mean for the crypto market? What is about to happen next? And also Putin's advisor warning of a U.S. conspiracy to wipe out $35 trillion in debt using crypto and gold. Now, we also have to talk about what's happening for Ripple, XRP, massive news with the World Economic Forum. We're going to get into the U.S. debt clock. We're going to talk about what's happening on the NASDAQ with Gemini and some other massive crypto news that you need to know by the end of this year to be prepared for what comes next. So you guys are going to love this video. This is actually pretty crazy what I found today. Comment 777 if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish, and if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So to kick this video off, I've been making some posts inside of our free Discord group through the link in the description below. This one right here was on an incredible trade, and it played out almost to the T right here at how it was drawn up in the Discord group. So if you guys want to catch these trades, then join the group. It's free. There's 748 members. The link will be in the description below, and you can connect, network, chat with other members in our team, and get access to some trades when they're posted before we ever make videos about them. And most of the time, we just won't even make videos about them because usually it's too late. That we can post in real time, whereas a video takes me all day to make because I got to research everything for you guys and prep it together. Because the crypto market is moving so fast, being at the jump of the gun and having the inside edge to understand what's happening on the charts is the real key. So we're going to get into the charts. We're going to talk about Bitcoin's market cap dominance. We're going to talk about XRP. We're going to compare it to the rest of the market. But before we do, I think it's important you know this because like I just mentioned at the start of this video, Trump and Putin had a meeting. Now, if you follow the Mr. Pool account, he's posted these encrypted posts over the past few years that seemingly don't mean much to the average person, the untrained eye, but to the initiated out there in the dark arts of crypto sorcery and mastery here. Okay, what does this mean? Well, we did some digging, and here's what we found. After the meeting with Trump and Putin, Trump shared this, saying the world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming. And now, this doesn't really say anything, but what's important here is in one of his hands, there's a Q+. Now, this is highlighting the QAnon movement, and we're going to get into that in a second, but I think it's important you hear what Dan Pena said about who really created Bitcoin. Listen to this.
There is no coming back, bro. I mean, this is it. But at least we're going to go out with Trump with a financial bang. And as I said, you know who's behind Bitcoin? Putin. It's a long-range plan he started 7-8 years ago. He's going to see the demise of the Western financial world while he's still the head of Russia.
Now, obviously, take what Dan says with a grain of salt there, but here's what's interesting about all of this. Vladimir Putin's special envoy, he became hot stuff all over social media when he reposted Trump's Q+ post on his page. And this account right here, August the 17th, posted a frog, a world, and another frog with the White House. And he liked a couple of this guy's posts. And he also responded to this right here with a handshake, basically saying there's absolutely no doubt he knows exactly what he is doing. After all, he posted "Where we go one, we go all" and "Dark to light" on top of other QAnon memes. Now, who is this guy? He's not just some Joe Schmo or someone on Reddit living in his parents' basement. He was born back in 1975. He's a Russian businessman who is the CEO of the Russian Direct Investment Fund and at least $10 billion sovereign wealth fund created by the Russian government to co-invest in the Russian economy. In February of 2022, he was sanctioned by the United States Treasury following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and he assumed the office of the Special Presidential Envoy of Foreign Investments and Economic Cooperation on the 23rd of February. So we're talking about one of the final bosses over here in Russia, posting some QAnon memes and responding back to riddlers. Now here's also another interesting point about this guy. He earned his MBA from Harvard Business School in 2000, and he graduated with the highest distinction as a Baker Scholar. So I don't know if he got baked and that's how he became a scholar, but nonetheless, Brad Garlinghouse graduated from Harvard Business School as well. with his MBA in 1999, just a year before. So could it be possible that the CEO of the Russian direct investment fund and Brad Garlinghouse hung out while they studied their MBAs at Harvard? And Bendito put it perfectly here. He says, it does not matter who you are, it matters who you know. I just find it very interesting that they went to the exact same school. And also, Putin's advisor is warning of a U.S. conspiracy to wipe out the $35+ trillion in debt using gold and crypto. Check this out.
Америка прямо сейчас пытается поменять правила на рынке золота и криптовалют. Вспомните, какой у них долг. 35 триллионов долларов. В общем-то, это два альтернативных валютному сегменту мировых рынка. Действия Вашингтона в этом направлении отчетливо демонстрируют одну из главных американских задач. Они очень хотят решить проблему снижения доверия к доллару. США, как это было и в 30-е, и в 70-е годы, будут решать свои финансовые проблемы за счет всего мира, загоняя всех куда? В криптовалютное облако. Со временем, когда часть госдолга США будет размещена в стейблкоинах, США обесценит этот долг. Еще раз простыми словами. У них сейчас валютный 35-триллионный долг, они его загоняют в крипту, в облако, обесценивают и начинают с нуля. Это для тех, кто очень любит заниматься криптой.
I don't know about you, but that guy said the quiet part out loud there. Starting from scratch after wiping out the debt. Well, look at this. BBVA, you've seen this. They took their collaboration with Ripple to the next level. This expansion allows them to leverage proven and trusted technology that meets the highest security, so BBVA can directly provide an end-to-end custody service to its customers. And BBVA has operations in numerous countries like Spain, Mexico, Turkey, Portugal, and various South American markets. And they are Spain's second largest bank, holding significant market share in countries like Mexico. And the managing director over at Ripple said their new partnership with BBVA is another clear signal that the world's largest banks are embracing digital assets. Now, stack that on top of the World Economic Forum saying that the XRP ledger is currently being used to tokenize debt, right here in their official document saying several firms have already taken steps to tokenize PE investments. Recently, our Room Equity Partners launched the world's first combined PE and debt tokenized fund valued at $1 billion on the XRP ledger, enabling enhanced investor access and liquidity through secondary markets. Now, this is pretty interesting because when we talk about tokenizing debt, that clip right there from Putin's advisor warning of a U.S. conspiracy to wipe out the debt, well, that's a lot of money there. He said 35 trillion. It's actually over $37 trillion. And if you go on the worldeconomicforum.org, they have a page specifically designated for Ripple that says they're doing for value what the internet did for information, enabling its instant and seamless flow around the world. Ripple calls this the internet of value using the blockchain cryptocurrency technology, creating the catalyst of the new digital economy for governments, businesses, and consumers. The main question then becomes, why would they feature Ripple on their website? Well, it's because it's all part of the plan. The NASDAQ just filed with the SEC to tokenize every stock by 2026, and all tokenized assets will eventually route and settle through XRP as the bridge currency. That means trillions in value will move on chain, which aligns with all the news that's been dropping about XRP recently. Look at this. The NASDAQ invested $50 million in Gemini, and this was right after Gemini issued their XRP card. Coincidence, right? And this just in, an XRP approval for a spot ETF in 2025 is highly probable, over 94%, according to this post right here, as SEC regulations progress. And we actually checked this on polymarket.com and confirmed that it's 94% by December of 31st. And you can bet on these if you want. Not recommended, obviously, because those odds, you're not going to make any money. You have to bet no. And with 94%, it's pretty much a sure thing at this point. It's just a matter of when they approve it. But here's the dark horse here, the conspiracy that Russia and Putin is behind Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not what you think. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Because this video right here, with the quiet part being said out loud, and many of the earliest Satoshi era wallets have linked straight back to intelligence-backed infrastructure. So the fingerprints, people have said, led back to the CIA or the NSA, the National Security Agency. And Bitcoin's SHA-256 hashing algorithm was designed by the NSA in the early 2000s. If you guys watched my previous videos about that, I uncovered all of that with the early document about how to make a mint, the cryptography of anonymous electronic cash. So was it really random that this was the core of Bitcoin, or was it planted? Because back in 1996, this document came out here, And the NSA employees were all behind it. And David Schwartz owned this patent back in the late 80s and the 90s, before crypto was ever even around. David Schwartz also used to work for the NSA. And many hints were dropped on the 4th of July of this year, where Brad and Stuart Alderati from Ripple met with Donald Trump. Dormant Satoshi-era wallets were getting activated. Trump signed the One Big Beautiful bill, increasing the U.S. debt and pumping Bitcoin. And Trump has openly suggested about using crypto to pay off the debt by writing a mere crypto check. And what pumps Bitcoins today, and why does Bitcoin's price go up? Well, it's Tether, USDT in other countries. A stablecoin printing billions out of thin air, funneling liquidity into Bitcoin, propping up the price so the world gets trapped in the crypto cloud. And here's how Putin's advisor basically described the setup. Number one, pumping Bitcoin artificially, which is what's happening with USDT. Number two is getting other countries hooked on it, signing massive bills, saying it's a store of value, it's a competitor to gold. You program that narrative in the minds of everyone around the world. Then the US moves the debt into the crypto cloud, and we have a controlled collapse and a devalue of the debt, and then we start fresh. So could it be that Bitcoin was never the revolution, it was the bait? And BTC really stands for beta test coin. But what comes after the collapse and the Great Reset? Well, a neutral bridge asset designed for real-world finance. And in 2019, the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa Business Council formed a working group studying the possibility of creating a special trade facilitating BRICS cryptocurrency to ensure uninterrupted paperless document flow for trade obligations. And they said in order to achieve the BRICS goal of de-risking trade settlements in national currency, there is no need to create a specialized cryptocurrency for document flow, whereas funds needed to execute the contract can be temporarily pre-stored in a linked virtual escrow-like account associated with the contract to guarantee fund availability at the time of execution. And then they put in brackets here, XRP Ledger 2020. So the introduction of a new digital currency for the BRICS countries, having the potential to reshape financial systems, stimulate economic integration between the BRICS and other nations, and influence global economic dynamics. And it will reset the banking market as we know it. Now, this will be accelerated by the end of the year by the ISO 20022 update across SWIFT and all banks globally, where it's only a matter of time before regional economic blocs experimenting with digital currencies totally bypass the usage of the US dollar. And David Schwartz posted this recently saying, you think it's particularly hard for the NSA, the National Security Agency, or the government of China to do a 51% attack on Bitcoin? All it takes is money, and they can short Bitcoin to cover some of those costs. So Ripple has basically been aligning with all of the elite, the World Economic Forum, the IMF, the BIS, and calling it things like a fintech advisory group by making these partnerships with central banks. Even the ISO 20022 standard, Ripple was a part of the original governing body as the first blockchain company for the new standard that is basically going to revolutionize banking forever. So this isn't just a photo op here. This is like an Avengers picture here for the endgame. And just like a Hollywood movie, the reset is completely scripted. Now, what needs to happen in order for XRP to go up in value? Well, we've talked about this in previous videos on the charts, and that's a drop in Bitcoin's dominance. Look at what happened last time, each bull run, when we truly experienced alt season and Bitcoin's dominance plummeted as capital rotated from Bitcoin and into altcoins, and altcoins drastically outperformed the price of Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin's dominance sitting at 58%, that's what I believe is coming next towards the tail end of this year. We're going to see a great rotation into altcoins like we've never seen before. And when we look at XRP's price chart, it is primed for a massive move. Now, this is the first stage of a major trend reversal here as we break out of this downtrend for XRP. And it doesn't mean that we go up right away because obviously, we have a battle between the bulls and the bears here. But if we were to compare XRP's price chart, right here at the top of the screen to the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is total 3, this is how these breakouts typically play out. Now, it's not going to be exact, but when we see a break of structure and a break of a downtrend like this, a lot of the times we see price consolidate between a resistance and a support until we see another major move to the upside. So very similar to what we saw happen back here for total 3, where price broke this descending resistance right here and consolidated on top of it as support. That's what's happening with XRP right now. We just recently broke this resistance. We also broke this descending resistance, and now we're just consolidating on top of it as support. So it's possible for XRP to come back down to like $2.85, but I would expect a move back to $3.10, similar to what happened here by May of 2025. Now, the real question is if we break through it or if we get rejected from it and we consolidate on top of this before making another major move. Nonetheless, I believe we will be going back to the all-time high for XRP, similar to what happened over here by July of 2025. And whatever this recovery rally and this breakout rally and this trend reversal looks like on the price chart, I do think we go into price discovery by the tail end of this year, leading into the ISO news, leading into the ETF news, because people love to buy rumors and they love to sell the news. So the rumors of the ETF coming by the end of this year, well, when is the SEC going to be deciding on that? That's in October of 2025. All at the same time while XRP is breaking a 50+ day downtrend here and experiencing the first step of a trend reversal. Now, as long as we just put in higher lows here, this is incredibly bullish for XRP. And also, we've seen a MACD bullish cross on the monthly time frame on this chart right here with the ratio of the total market cap excluding the top 10 to Bitcoin. We've seen a retest of an 8-year support trend line. We've seen also a breakout from a 3-year downtrend. And we've seen the completion of an ABC sell-off. And this has been over 1,247 days, whereas the last time this happened, it was only 546 days. So we are due for a rally for altcoins. And when we look at the others chart right here, just everything outside of the top 10, we are coiling up right now to experience a major move. We're right here at resistance since July of 2025, which was support all the way back here in December of 2024 to February of 2025. So when altcoins make a major move, it's going to happen very, very quickly. And we're going to see these levels get taken out next. Now, with the US inflation index dropping to 1.99% for trueflation, we're about to see 2 to 3 rate cuts coming by the end of this year. And with that news stacked on top of ETF approval, stacked on top of the ISO 222 update coming in November, plus if we bring up the M2 Global Liquidity Index right here in yellow, we've made new all-time highs. And I don't know, this looks like a little glitch on the chart. What is this where the Global Liquidity Index absolutely just erupted and then came back down really quick? So this might be a glitch on the chart. If it's not, nonetheless, we've been trending up in yellow here. Bitcoin's been trending up, but we've been seeing this macro bearish divergence on Bitcoin's price chart. So this bull run is coming to an end. And I do think Bitcoin will go higher, but I do think altcoins will outperform Bitcoin by the end of this year. And not only will XRP be one of those altcoins, but there's going to be a handful of ones that are going to absolutely explode. And our team has spotted those altcoins and they're sharing them with our members inside of Altcoin Pro right now. And we've even been sharing these over the past few years and have called some of the biggest plays in crypto to date. For example, our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1, 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap or 16 cents back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, This is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree, if that's a goal of yours. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.